Hey, welcome back to the Few Show, everybody. My name is Bud. I am an account executive here at xfusion.io and co-host of the Few Show. I am excited to be joined today by my guests, Mitch Dougharty and Bradoc Archibald. Mitch is the CMO and Bradoc is the CRO of Floorzap. Floorzap is a newly emergent CRM and business management software for flooring dealers. Mitch, Bradoc, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us, Bud. Glad to be here.
Yeah. Hey. We were going to have three of you. Unfortunately, Mike is not feeling well. So, Mike, here's a shout out to you. Wish you were on. Maybe we can get you on here in a little while. But let's get this started off by just telling us how you guys got into Floorzap. We will talk about Floorzap here in just a little bit, but I want to know how a couple of, we'll say, youngsters got into this business. And I wish Mike was here so that he could tell me why he picked you guys to be here. But I kind of want to know your story and how you guys got into the flooring business and actually got into Floorzap itself.
Okay, so I started off, me and Mitch got randomly assigned a group project together in college. And we kind of became buddies after that.
That was part of the entrepreneurship program, actually, at University of Houston, and so that's where we met up.
And so, yeah.
Which are part of the Big 12 now, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whose house?
Whose house?
So we were together in this project, and we became friends. Anyway, Mitch graduated December 19 and instantly took a job at Mohawk. So I was like, oh, one of my best friends is in the flooring industry. When I got offered a job in the flooring industry, I asked him, like, what do you think of the industry? Should it be something I'm in? And he's like, yeah, go for it. So I started working for a flooring dealer. I ran operations, scheduling, managing installers, ordering, things of that nature. And then I dabbled in some sales when I had some free time.
And you also did some remodeling too, right?
Oh yeah, we were full scale remodeling. We actually redid someone's lake house. It's beautiful. I wish I could show you the pictures. But yeah, so this, remodeling company that I worked for had some guy walk in named Mike and said, I have a flooring software for you guys. And we're like, okay. And we saw it and thought it could use some work, but it was going to be better than our current system of having complete folders of stacks of paper and moving it from bucket to bucket on the wall. We had a conference room table that was about 50 square feet that was just full of paper. So stacks of paper. And
I went and visited him at work one day and I just saw the stacks, man. It was bad.
And so he's like, so my owner at the time was like, if I can get rid of this paper, I'd be a happy man. So because of some previous experience I had managing like a Zoho CRM, one of the jobs I had in college, he kind of put me in charge of managing our Floorzap. And Floorzap was a really good software. I say it had really good bones, but needed muscles to work for you. And I pitched Mike a few ideas on how to convert quotes to invoices, how to automatically create the work order, because you're kind of doing a little bit of a double entry there. I explained to him how I'd do it. And Mike's like, that's a really good idea. And we started working together pretty closely. I'd run into issues at work with the software and I'd be like, hey, Mike, do this. Hey, Mike, do this. Hey, Mike, do this. Well, my hey, Mike, do this worked out a little too well, kind of made it to where I was unnecessary at my job. So I was kind of sitting around at my job trying to decide what my next career move was going to be because it just didn't make sense for me to be there anymore.
The system automated so many things that it kind of made it so easy. It was too easy.
Yeah.
Nice.
So then from there, I was actually about to start working for my dad's business, and Mike says, "Hey, I need help. I'd love to have you. You've given me some great ideas with the software, and you know it." So he goes, "A, for me, it's less training, and B, you have some great ideas to make the software even better. And I know you have a few more in your back pocket you haven't told me yet." And I was like, okay, let's do it. And so that's how I started with Floorzap.
Yeah. And then, basically I started off, working for Mohawk as a commercial sales rep in the workplace retail segment. But unfortunately, COVID put an end to that just basically because, nobody knew when, designers were going to be doing projects anymore. It was just so uncertain. So I ended up getting laid off over there. And then in the meantime, went and worked for a QuickBooks like consulting firm. So I did sales over there and a little bit of consulting, just as far as helping business owners choose the right QuickBooks software for their business and how to utilize it for their business. And, that's where I just kind of started to realize, how beneficial, whenever Doc was telling me about Floorzap, how beneficial it is for flooring dealers. Cause I was, at QuickBooks, everybody was just working to make the software work for their business. But then whenever Doc showed me Floorzap, and me having been in the flooring industry and realizing, man, this is a great software, and they were needing somebody. And I was like, well, okay, yeah, flooring and software, I know them both. So sure, sign me up. I want in. And so I came over here, and I went to school for marketing. And so I had a little bit of marketing experience as well. And so that's kind of why they brought me in, is to kind of handle a lot of the marketing here as well as the sales. So that's just, that's a little bit about me and how I got here.
That's awesome. So I like that he saw some potential, in you, Bradoc, and he's like, hey, you're helping me from afar, and I want to bring you in.
Mm-hmm.
And that he saw some potential in you, Mitch, and he's like, man, I really don't care that you guys are fresh out of school,
mm-hmm.
and let's do this thing, right? Like that shows some vision in Mike, and that shows, some real chutzpah in him, right? Like let's do this thing.
Mm-hmm.
I want you guys. Let's go. I want to take a turn here and kind of do a 30,000 foot view and look at the industry, and then we'll kind of drill down into Floorzap, and we'll get to Floorzap here in just a little bit. But why? I really didn't know anything that there was a problem with flooring and software, and that there needed to be a marriage between the two. So let's start there, and tell me why there's a software issue with flooring, and let's drill down, and we'll get to Floorzap and what you guys do.
Okay, so first of all, why you need a software for a flooring dealer, someone that's putting in flooring, is you have a lot of moving parts. So when you put in the floor, it's not just like a one-piece thing at times, right? You have to prep the floor, you have to maybe level the floor, right, and make it even. And when you put in carpet, most people don't know, beneath the carpet's a carpet pad, right? Or beneath tile, there's the thin set, there's the grout. There's a lot of materials that go into it. You have to put the baseboard over it, or, quarter rounds, things like that. So there's a lot of material that goes into it, right? And so you get that material from different places. Plus, all these different companies, everyone has a different style, right? So there's the aesthetic portion of it as well as the functional portion of it. And basically there's a lot of moving parts. So being able to manage all the materials you need, and a lot of times you need different materials for different jobs, right? How much material that you need to order, right? And then you need to take installers. So for example, a lot of times installers, they are carpet installers or tile installers or wood installers. A lot of times people don't cross over into both, or if they do, they don't do it well, right? And when you live in a place, you really want your floor to be nice, because you're going to walk on it every day and you're going to look at it every single day.
Mm-hmm.
So floors, something that you want to do, right? You want it to be nice. And so from that perspective, you have to manage the schedules. You have to, when the material is going to come in. You have to know when the installer is going to be available. You have to manage all that from a logistics perspective. And you also have to make sure that you're selling it at the right profit margin, right? Because when you're, ordering, your material, costs can change, because you might not use the same product the same way 2 different times, right? Because, there's so many different products in the industry. And so basically every job's unique. And so you're not just turnkey going. It's more like every project's unique. And so you have to manage them, because, even though it might be, my 100th project, it's your first project in your house. And so it matters to you. Right. And so just being able to manage all of that is why the software is needed. Now, why there's a problem is the leading market share in the flooring software runs off a 2003 Microsoft Wizard. Then we have other programs that are competitors that run off DOS programs. Now, before the show, when I told you this, Bud, you said something about your dad at IBM. What was that again?
Yeah, so when my dad started working as a computer programmer at IBM when I was 3, DOS is what he was, working with. So that's a while ago.
Yeah.
That's, I was, I'm 44. So, I would say that's a problem if the industry is still working off that.
Right. And there's only really 2 other programs out there that were designed for the cloud, and they're not honestly that great. So we're one of the few ones that we're running off, the newest Microsoft stuff. We're, doing off of C#, Microsoft SQL Server for our database. Like, we're using new technology. I mean, if you look at what your phone was in 2003 and you're using that technology to run your business when you could be using what your phone is now, I mean, that's a big difference in technology. The industry just honestly has been neglected. Like, that's the word.
Mm-hmm. You just dated yourself, because when I was 3, our phones were hanging on the wall and we didn't have any in our hands. Well, yeah, that's how long ago it was.
Microsoft Windows Note 3. There was a cell phone there, right?
Fun fact, I actually grew up.
So, yeah.
So I was probably, I guess, a sophomore in high school. We still had the wired coil phone in our kitchen, and that's our home phone. That was what we had. That was it. So I was out in the country
for sure.
So that's why.
Yep.
So yeah, that's the industry problem. We're just trying to attack that problem with mostly just modernization,
right?
And kind of trying to become a one-stop shop for these flooring dealers. So we kind of manage, their websites. We can build websites for them, do SEO. That's what Mike, our owner, was doing before. He was building websites and did a really good job. And he's an SEO expert. We can get you on the first page of Google, hopefully within a month. Our record is 2 days. We got someone on the first page of Google in their area within 2 days. So that was
in Houston, actually. So, but yeah, I mean, the biggest
in Houston.
Yeah, the biggest takeaway was just that. I mean, it's just that the flooring industry has been neglected, not only by software, but just technology in general, like websites and such. Not many people, or there's not many companies out there offering flooring specific services for the flooring market, right? And so that's what we also want to tap into, is we want to have more options in there. We want to make technology more prominent in the market, because the flooring industry deserves it. Everybody in their business deserves to run efficiently, and for the software to give them back more time or save them more money, have, instead of just finding out what you end up with at the end of the day as far as cash, like whenever you do a project, what was my profit margin? And just finding out after the end of the job. We want you to know every step of the way exactly how much you're making. So if you need to make any tweaks during that phase as you're quoting them, that way you can just have full control over your bottom line. And that's just what the industry needs, and it's just lacks so much. And so we just really want to start promoting more technology within the industry, because that's really what's going to make this industry thrive even more.
Nice. So you want to promote that, which is awesome. You want to bring everything up to date. How are you doing that exactly? Can you put into words to our viewers how you're bringing everything to the forefront?
So for us, it's first of all, it's about letting them know that there's other options available, because software has a bad stigma in our space, because there's 3 types of, when you go into a market, sometimes you have to convince a person that they need a product, right? Other times, you're trying to be the best product of something they know they already need. But we're in a space where we're trying to change the image of technology, right? And when you think about it from like a blue collar guys, right, and white collar guys, there's always been, a natural rivalry between them. And so we're really trying to bring the blue collar and the white collar together. So it's more about opening those conversations. So the biggest thing that we try to do is listen. And I know it sounds very, very simple, but listen. I mean, if we talk about the beginning, like Mike hired me because he had all these ideas, but Mike's philosophy was to listen. So the company, Mike originally started the company because he was playing cards with his friends, and he had 2 or 3 flooring dealers in the card group that kind of, you know, rotated about 10 guys. And they would complain about the software, and he did a Google search, and he goes, there's 20 softwares out there, dude. Don't tell me to build a software and complain. There's going to be one out there for you. And so basically one of the guys challenged him and said, all right, go find the software you would choose. And he's like, all right, man. All right, I'll do it. Because Mike was already doing his website, because I said he had done, you know, websites before. He's like, all right, I'll pick out the one. I'll do this for a consulting fee. Kind of like, dude, you're my friend. Why are you making me do this? Then he did it. And then he saw what, you know, kind of what we told you guys. And he's like, they weren't kidding. Like, it's really been neglected. And so he kind of listened to, you know, what their issues were on some of the things. You know, some of the softwares, you can't send a quote through the system. You literally have to download the PDF, then go to your email, then attach the PDF, and send the quote, write the email, whatever. Right? We're like modern day technology, you know, we just send it with a click of a button. You can send it
send it through text or email. Like, oh, text quote now, right? Instead of having to go through all those other processes.
Right.
You know,
and that's the person with the leading market share, is they still can't send a quote through their system. And I think only one other company right now can send it through SMS. A couple others can send it through email. But like the fact that there's certain companies that have huge market share, in the largest market share, can't even do simple things like that, where you're doing 7 or 8 steps when something, you know, with today's automation can do 1. So it's just, you know, the company was started off of listening, and we continue to listen. We have, you know, customers that give us, you know, good ideas every day on how to maybe manage our inventory a little better, or how they would like it, you know, someone to schedule their link online. So we do their website, and, you know, we also do their schedule, your appointment scheduling within our application. And he's like, hey, could we do this, you know, and do it this way? And we're like, yeah, that's a great idea, and we're going to move forward with it.
And a lot of times it's just people, you know, everybody runs their flooring business a little bit differently. You know, it's not cookie cutter. I mean, yes, we've designed the software to work very, very, very well for, you know, the majority of flooring dealers, and to encompass pretty much all of your needs. But there are going to be some little ways that maybe your process is a little bit different from the next guy down the street, right? And so our flooring software is really customizable to where, you know, because we listen, we offer these features, you know, as somebody requests it, like, hey, I really want to be able to do this with inventory. I really want to have this show up on the work order. Can you do that for me? Hey, that's a really good idea. Yeah, I'll have it done for you by tomorrow. You know, right? And so we implement it. And so those little tweaks, if it makes sense for the rest of our customers as well, we'll add that into the base software. And so that way, or we can make it an option where it's an optional thing. If you want that feature as well, you can click select, yes, I want to have that, or no. So a lot of it is very customizable to your individual flooring store needs. So that way, you know, everybody can, you know, like have all of their needs met, and even have those little nice to haves that aren't really going to be a deal breaker for you, but it's just, man, this is so awesome that it does this. Like no other software does this. And even this little thing just makes me so happy that I can just do it, you know, because it matches my process. And so that's just a really nice thing that we like. And that comes from listening. It's just listening to our clients as they come in and adding to the software and growing with our customers, because our customers are naturally like having to change in the market as well, because I mean, the flooring industry is just booming right now. And so different needs come up, or they're opening another branch of their business. Maybe they want to start building cabinets on their own or something like that, you know, and then offering their cabinet services. You know, we want to accommodate to every little thing that you want to do with your business, as far as these guys are concerned. So that's really our focus, is listening to our clients and making sure that we're meeting all of their needs, and that the software is customizable to, you know, do what you want.
And so like part of that customization, we have a section in our settings called system list. In the system list, we have 27-ish different lists where you can customize what pops up on the list in the software.
And you can keep it as simple as you want. You can keep it strictly flooring, but the option is there if you do have other needs, more advanced things that you want to include.
Yeah, so we have a guy that does mattress sales out of our system. We have people that do window coverings out of our system. We have people that do cabinets out of our system. It was originally designed to flooring, and they all have the flooring aspect of their system, but they were able to do, you know, these other industries within our system just because we have the ability to customize the service types. So they have a window covering service type, or, you know, a mattress sales service type. And so, he does mattress sales. Why he does flooring and mattress sales, I don't know. But it works for him. He makes a lot of money. I see it in his system when I go to train him. So it works for him. So, everyone kind of has.
Both my oldest kids moved out and put their mattresses on the floor. So it makes sense.
Yeah, but that's what he does, and he does really well. And he's been a great referral for us because when I say, hey, yeah, this system's customizable, someone sells mattresses out of the system, and it just gives us a little kind of feather in our cap. So it's like, okay, so it can be more than just laminate or vinyl or.
Yeah, and we have full-scale remodeling companies working in it too. So, any remodeling needs that you need, they're going to be met in the system too. So we pride ourselves in that. That's awesome. And it's, we talked a little bit about how you guys do SEO and you have a part of it that does social media for some of your clients. But we also talked a little bit about how it helps with supply chain and stuff like that. You guys are a true full service software company for your clients.
I'm going to let Mitch.
You run the entire gamut. So yeah, go ahead, Mitch. Just give me a rundown of everything.
Mitch kind of handles a lot of our website stuff. So.
Well, we're a one-stop shop, right? A lot of times, we want to provide everything that we can as far as the software goes and help you be able to run your business. So the software, we have that covered, and we're always, making it even better. But as far as, websites and such are concerned, there's not a whole lot, of companies out there offering flooring specific websites. And we just want to be another resource out there to be able to build good websites, and provide SEO to help you be able to reach, your market potential. We want to help you start getting leads throughout the week. We want to make sure that, because a lot of flooring dealers come to us, they don't even have a website. They've been operating for 35 years. Sometimes they don't have a website. Good on you. You're doing great business.
Right.
So let's take it up to another level. Let's start getting you leads every week through the website, just without you even having to pay for extra ads or do any other marketing, just by having your website and having it optimized to where you're showing up on the first page of Google when somebody searches flooring store near me in whatever city you're in. If you come up on top, who do you think they're going to click on? Who do you think they're going to go give their business to? Because, if somebody's in their bathroom thinking, oh, I want to remodel my bathroom, or, oh man, I want to put some new flooring in this living room. Let me check what flooring stores are near me. Let me see who's near me, and I'm going to go there. Right?
Yeah, we've earned a lot of clients just because they're like, oh yeah, our website's beautiful. And I'll look at their website and it looks great. And then I'm like, okay, so when I search up flooring store in your city, where do you pop up? And they're popping up on the fourth page, of Google. And it's like, yeah, your website looks good. Are you getting leads every week from it? Yeah, I am. But are you paying pay-per-click for those leads? So really, the pay-per-click ads are doing well, but your website isn't. And those are two different things. And a lot of people associate them as I'm getting leads through the website. But are you getting them through the pay-per-click? And maybe they're doing a good job with the pay-per-click, but you're not doing a good job with the website because you should be getting organic leads as well.
Yeah. So do you guys actually build websites for your clients, or just work for search engine optimization?
We do both.
Are they mutually exclusive? You do both.
If you already have a website filled out with content, but you're just not ranking as well as you'd like, we'll definitely just take your content and tweak it and just basically make your site optimized for SEO. And that's one part of our services. However, if you don't have a website, you have nothing, but you just want to look into getting a website, yeah, we'll absolutely build it from the ground up. We have our own website team who builds out the website, makes it look beautiful. We try to get as on brand as possible for you. So I usually have that conversation with my clients as much as possible to understand your brand, what you're looking for, how do you want to be represented in the market? Are you focusing more commercial or focusing more residential? Where's the focus for the site, right? So I dig into all these questions with you to figure out, where are you trying, what's your brand and what are you trying to convey to the customer? And then we build out your website, make it look exactly how you want, on brand. And then we have our own copywriter team basically here.
I was going to ask that too. Yeah, good.
We add the content for you. add all the SEO, tweaks to it to make sure that it's going to rank. And yeah, we can get you up and running quick.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's quite an endeavor. How big is your team?
Our team, it varies. I mean, on the website team, we've got quite a few guys. We have about 6 people on the website team. And we have about 6 people on the website team. On the dev team for the software, it's 12. Yeah. So
nice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. That's awesome. So I'll ask this, and again, I wish Mike was here so he could bring his 2 cents in, but we'll get him on here later, I hope. But what is it that individually you guys bring to the company that would be missing without you? This is kind of an ego question, but it doesn't have to be, right?
I'll answer for Mike. So Mike is he can build things incredibly fast as far as coding. He's incredible. So my favorite story is, we talk about listening to clients. One client complained that you don't have anything with like QR codes or anything like that. And he said, okay. So this conversation happened like Thursday night, actually. I think it was actually after business hours. He came back to her Monday morning and said, I have QR codes in the system now. So any of your products in the showroom that you have, you can scan the QR code. It'll pull up all the information, including price. You even have a calculator at the bottom that they can do. They can do like the price times the square footage. And I'll tell them what the retail price and what they need to pay, and it'll round it up to the nearest box for them, so they know exactly how many boxes they need to order and what that price would be. And he built that in a weekend.
That's crazy.
Right. And so that's what Mike brings to the table. For what I personally bring to the table, it's I did it, right? I worked for a flooring store. That was my, job out of college. And I, did the operation side of it. I did I did some sales. So I understand where the system can help because I sold my first carpet job, not accounting for carpet pad.
Which is really...
So basically, most flooring stores operate between a 20 and 50% margin, just about in that range. And so basically, because it was only a one-room job, a small job, we literally broke even on the job. So we did the job, but we didn't make any money from it because I forgot carpet pad. Just, I was trying to do it really quick.
Right.
I was really excited, to do it. And, I was checking all these things and forgot that. And just forgot something so basic. The software helps you not forget things like that.
Yeah.
And so how to make that easier and the industry experience that I bring from actually doing it and be like, okay, and that's why, and because of that specific reason, me forgetting carpet pad is the reason that we have templates in the system. Because now we have templates in the system to be able to like, okay, so you can select all the, you're deleting items.
Serves as kind of a checklist.
Right.
That you can uncheck or keep checked.
And so because of that, that is personally what I bring to the table is that and being able to understand how it works. Because I originally in college wanted to be an engineer. So I started the engineering and actually hated it. Didn't think it was person-centric enough. And I switched over to business management, which is all person-centric. So I probably overcorrected there in all honesty. But when I did that, I actually took some coding classes. And because of that, I have a base level of code that I know, right? And I understand how it works. So I'm able to not only present my ideas, but I'm able to present them how it would work within our coding, like, the general structure to it. Now, could I build it? Absolutely not. But I can tell them the general direction to go in, not only from the business perspective or, from the client perspective, but I can also say how we build it in the system.
Right. And so, Doc
Gotcha.
really provides a lot of value, especially when customers ask him, how to do a certain thing in the system. He just knows it. He's sharp. Doc's really sharp. And especially if there's something that we need to add, Doc's ideas are just constantly flowing. I sit in meetings with him and, him and Mike and our dev team. And, we're talking about ideas and Doc just has so many. It's just really, really very, very, very good with systems. is what I can say. I mean, it's really impressive to be in those meetings with him and just hear the ideas and the tweaks that Doc has for our dev team to complete. And Mike usually is just like, that's a great idea, Doc, keep them coming. It's just constant innovation on Doc's end. So that's really his strongest point, I think, is just the constant innovation within our company, because he's really helped Floorzap grow to be such a powerhouse of a software. Because like without Doc's ideas and that, I mean, it was still great software and it had a lot of potential, but Doc has really helped it thrive and, come about in such a short amount of time because of his innovative ideas along with Mike. So they're a really great team together.
Nice.
I'm not so much into the systems as much as they are. So they work more so with the dev team. But it's really quite a spectacle to watch, in those meetings and to be part of it. But as far as I come into play is, I bring some at least software experience and then forwarding experience as well. So connecting with clients, especially with sales, as they come in, being able to connect with them, have good conversations with them and understand them. I mean, that's a big thing for us and as far as hiring, our team, we really want to have people that are in the flooring industry and understand our clients, because that's something, we are in the flooring business and we want people who have been in the flooring business and who are here to really connect and, grow, this industry and be part of it. And so that's something that we really focus on. And as far as websites and such, I really like managing that. I mean, I'm more of a modest person. I don't like talking about myself that much. But I get things done. I have good work ethic, I would say, and I just make sure that everything's running smoothly on my end, whatever that may be.
Yeah, and he handles
Nice.
all of our marketing campaigns, our emails, things like that. He's the one that handles all that. He does a great job. I might come up with an idea or I write a sentence, and we go back to that group project we worked on. I would write something down, like an idea, and then he'd come back and make the idea sound pretty. So we actually wrote a paper where I just went in and just jotted all my ideas down, and he just went in and made them all beautiful. Explained them.
Nice.
Doc saying all the time to me is make it pretty. Make it pretty.
Nice.
Make it professional. Make it whatever. Just make it sound good.
Nice. Good deal. I noticed when I was looking at your guys' profiles on LinkedIn, Mike, his title is CTO, and then you guys are the CMO and CRO. There is no CEO,
Correct,
per se. So, how do you guys structure the hierarchy for decision making purposes? Is there a certain decision maker, or do you guys do kind of a collaborative decision making process?
So Mike is technically the decision maker, but it doesn't work out like that at all. It's pretty much most times it's actually an argument between me and them two.
Yeah.
To be honest, when we discuss a new idea, it is an argument between me versus the two of them.
Doc has a really hard uphill battle
every time.
Yeah.
And it feels like, just because Mike and Mitch think more similarly in a business perspective and I think differently. So what either happens is both of them tell me I'm being stupid and I'm coming up, and that happens, and that's okay. We're very direct in our communication. But they'll tell me, hey, either you're being stupid, or basically I'll convince one or both of them to side with me. And so that's kind of how our decision-making process works, is we present logical arguments to each other, and whichever argument wins, that's what we go with. Usually it is me versus them two. It does switch around, so it's not quite so unbalanced all the time. But for the most part, our decision-making process is Doc arguing with Mitch and Mike. Yeah. And Doc, of course, is Bradoc, which you've been saying Doc the whole time.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
So that's my nickname. So Doc is Bradoc.
If they can't figure that out, then, oh well. I figured it out on our pre-call pretty quick, so I think people can figure that one out.
Yeah. But, I mean, we both think similarly, and we kind of have those arguments with Doc sometimes. It's still, we appreciate Doc because he's, he thinks differently, right? Each of us think in our own way, and we try to be as unbiased, as possible, and set our own, thoughts, aside, and really try to understand where Doc is coming from, or where Mike's coming from, at least. And so in those cases, it's good that we have these disagreements. We always encourage it, but we will call each other stupid pretty often. Just because we know that we're all trying our best and we're just trying to find the best solution. So
right.
Whichever logic wins. That is how it is.
Right. Well, and that's fine. That's good. It's good to have different ideas, different attitudes. You can't all be the same.
No.
Right.
And run a business. Like you have to have those different personalities to make it work. That's what I'm learning, as I do more and more of these shows. If you have the same attitudes and personalities up top, like it's just not going to work. You have to have those different viewpoints. But you also have to have somebody there that's going to just kind of be the guy as well.
Mm-hmm.
I've kind of learned, and I think that's, in family and business and just everything. So I was just wondering there. I do. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I agree. I just saying, I totally agree with you. Having someone that is in charge and has the final to say if things get messy is nice to default to, but hopefully you never have to get to that where, they have to flex their muscle.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
And that's something that we're both that Mike is. So, Mike does take us into consideration so well, like even though he is, the final decision maker, I would say, because we defer to him quite a bit. But yeah, he makes us feel heard and make sure that we're expressing it. If we hold anything back on him, he will be upset that we didn't, say, Mike, you're being stupid.
That's the most upset he's ever been with me is when I didn't speak up enough.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, that's good. That's good. I mean, good on him. Like that shows a lot of character, right? Absolutely. I mean, it really does. So I just pinched my finger. Sorry about that. I wonder, you guys are friends and you've been friends for a little while. Like you went to school together and you guys have that friendship and that bond, for, I don't know, a few years. And you've come into this together with that. You didn't have that with Mike. But you have that trust that going through school and going through things that friends go through have. How does that work being, in a C-suite part of a business? You have to have that trust that that the other person's going to do the right thing, right? But how does that correspond to going into this with Mike, who you really didn't know coming into it, and how is that relationship growing with him compared to what you guys had before?
Great question. Kind of a loaded one. So for me, me and Mitch, we became friends pretty quick through that group project. And well, actually, no.
It was a little while. I wasn't sure about him. It was a slow grow, but because we didn't have that much in common, we really don't make sense as friends so much. It's like people who would actually hang out as much as we do, but we really enjoy each other's conversations. We both think similarly, but we disagree a lot, but we enjoy having those conversations. So actually that's the main reason why we became friends. It's just our conversations that we had, and we enjoyed having each other's company around. Not that we necessarily did the same things together, but we just enjoyed having each other's company. And so I think just coming into, working together, it's actually pretty good because we're able to separate friends from business really, really well. And Doc knows, that's definitely a big part of my personality is I shut things off really easy and kind of categorize. But we're able to still have that joking friendship while we're working together, right? And we're able to we still have that compatibility. If Doc told me, hey, I don't want you to be part of this team anymore, I'd be like, oh man, tell me why. Tell me why. But if you bring up enough logic, I will 100% accept and I'll go move on, right? So it's just.
So we'd still hang out Friday night.
We still I hang out with him the next.
Sure.
Because this is a business, right? And I'm going to put the business at the forefront. If I am not the best decision for this business, then I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here if I'm not the best person to be in my seat right now, if I'm not going to be providing that value. And that's the same way I understand with Doc. If I ever felt that way, I'd let him know. I'd say, Doc, I don't think you're providing as much as we need, right? And so I think having just that mutual understanding that this is a business, we're going to do whatever it takes to make this business thrive, regardless of our friendship. We can be great friends, but we have to make sure this business thrives. We're not going to fail a business today or any day. We're going to make this a success. And so with Mike as well, I mean, we've accepted him. So I see Mike as my own personal friend, and just a brother. I mean, I see them both as brothers, and that's the same way I think we all feel about each other is, we all understand that we have this brotherly relationship. I connected with Mike really well when I first met him. I was like, that's somebody I want to be on a team with. I want to be on this guy's team and work with him. And so I was so happy to be able to come over here and be able to work with both of them. And so I think that's just kind of the core of our business. We put business first, yet we all get along very well together, and we can go hang out on a Friday night and have a good time. And at business, we can still have that compatibility, that, real team feeling. That's a good feeling.
Right. So I think from all of us, I think some people try to set out in their career and be personally successful, where we're trying to set out and we're all interested. And like, as Mike always says, it's not necessarily about making the money. It's about building something great. And we all kind of fall under that same thing, that if we build Floorzap, everything else that we want, money, other things, we'll kind of follow that. And so we're concentrating, and we all have the goal that, again, he says, focus on the building. We're building Floorzap, and everything else we kind of falls into place. By
building Floorzap, we're still building a flooring community as well. We're helping the community, or that's how I see it at least. And that's really my main concern. I think all of our concern is that we all just want to build something great that helps, a community that's been neglected. I mean, that's really it. We were all from this industry, or like me and Doc were particularly, and that's just, that's something I want to see happen. That's something I want to do with my life. I care more about what I do than anything else. I want to make sure that I'm part of something that is a great business that I can, firmly say, this is the best thing that's out there. Put your trust in us, and we're going to make sure that your life is easier because of our software or our services. We're going to make sure we help your business, that we are of value to your business. If I can't say that, I don't want to be part of it. And so I think that's all of our drives.
Having a product we believe in,
yeah. We talked about a little bit where the industry falls short, and that's where the software is old and outdated. But for you guys personally, like, what is the biggest pain point that you guys can see right now for just personally for Floorzap? What is your biggest pain point so far?
Well, hopefully it won't be very soon. But for us, it's actually been for us is making sure people stay on. So
no, I think what he's saying is the pain point is
of the software or the company.
Why,
I guess.
No, he's saying like why do people want, or why do people need Floorzap? Why do they need software? Like, what's the biggest pain point when they come into our door? What are they looking for? Right?
No, okay, go ahead. I'll you guys have two different views, so I'll take both of your answers because for your customers, what's their biggest pain point? Sure, but for you as a company, what's the biggest pain point that you guys are having right now, and then how do you go about fixing that? So you guys have different views on what the question was, and I'll take both answers.
So for us, our biggest pain point is mostly been people see the software, I'll demo the software, or Mitch will demo the software, Mike will demo the software, and they're like, awesome. And then they have to do it themselves. And trying to get people to train and really dive in and getting the setup done. Because once people get the setup done, the system's easy. When we demo the system, we have it set up. And so people don't understand that, like, the the setup itself is going to take work because you run your business differently than the guy down the street. You just do. And so getting people to really dive into the setup of the system has been our biggest issue, trying to get products in the system. Honestly, so there's a fcb2b.info. It's like an organization that they run B2B software for flooring softwares and the distributors. The problem is you go to that website and I try to contact certain manufacturers. They don't have phone numbers on there. Like they don't have dedicated phone numbers. So I have to call like the main company line to try to get a hold of someone to try to do it, because we're trying to get people's catalog in our system, and we can't get people's catalog in the system because they don't respond. Manufacturers do not answer their phone. Like we're having issues with manufacturers, but some of them don't answer their phone. Yeah. Some of them don't respond to the email. We tried to get, certain people set up for 4 or 5 weeks with a certain manufacturer. And we're just like, dude, they want to use their product. They just want their their price list to be in there and then constantly updated every time it's updated. Right now, the industry, because of like freight and things like that, cost of raw materials, normally they have 1 or 2 price increases a year, maybe. Right now, they've had about 10. About 1 a month going through. And I mean, it's insane. Yeah. But like when you sell a product and you don't know what price it is, how do you price it out to your customer? Because usually, you take your product and mark it up. Well, if your product's outdated and, you've gone through 10 price updates this year and you haven't sold it in a while and it's 50 cents more a square foot on a 1,000-foot project, that's $500 right there. Right? And you're cutting in, and that's just pure margin. And what are you going to do? Oh, yeah, by the way, customer, it's more expensive than I thought it was. Like, you can't be doing things like that. And so being able to have, the catalogs and just the setup in general has been the biggest thing for us.
But we've been making some workarounds, to kind of go around it. We have Excel spreadsheets that we can upload into the system of those price lists. So, I mean, we do have our workarounds. It's just, it would be nice if every vendor was able to cooperate as much as we would like. But, we have our workarounds here and we try to make it as easy to set up. But, again, like a lot of our customers are very busy. They have very busy schedules. So for them to sit down and like just kind of start inputting things into the system, it does take a little bit of time, but we always try to stress, and it takes a lot less time than a lot of our other competitors out there. We're very quick. I mean, by a little bit of time, we mean by like 2 weeks, right? Like it's not really that long of a setup per se. And so we try to minimize as much, but we just want to be as fast as possible. Like we want those in the system quick. So that's just more of a nice to have for us, but it is kind of a big pain point for us just because we want to be more efficient in the system and just be able to have those in there.
And then for our clients' pain points, it's mostly, knowing what they're, really making is really what it is. Yeah. It's being able to go back and, the purchase order, you have, a purchase order from, you buy the pad from one place, the carpet from the other, the tacking strips from a third place. You have this installer that put it in that charges this rate. The other installer that you have charges a different rate. Or you might have in-house installers that do it hourly. Like, and a lot of people have, 4 or 5 different rates for 4 or 5 different subcontractors that they use. And, they have, maybe an in-house installer that does a different rate. So every job, it's not like your profit margin. Every job, again, is unique. And so just knowing what you're making and being able to see everything in one place.
Yeah. Instead of having paper spread out all over, your table or whatnot, and having to search through where's this invoice, where's this, where's that.
Or a whiteboard with a calendar on it that you're putting on
right.
People are installing. I mean,
some people are using multiple softwares too. Like they just have, 3 different softwares they're trying to use, and it's just so convoluted. Where it's just, it's not in one place. So just having
a double entry.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of double entry. So for them, it's either double entry a lot of times. And the other thing that kind of sets us apart from most of our clients is our price point. Because we're modern, we're on the cloud. You don't have to go, download it a desktop. We're not doing anything like that. We're just creating a site for you. We copy a site and then we, send it over. We do some customizations to it to kind of fit it to you, right, to what we know. Our setup's a lot easier. So therefore our setup's a lot cheaper. So we've had people that have spent, $15,000 on setup fees
for some of our software. Yeah.
And we don't charge any setup fees.
Yeah. We just, like, again, it's, that few weeks you have to spend a little bit of time setting up, but you would have to do that for another software and pay them thousands and thousands of dollars for you to have to do all of that too. It's ridiculous. So for us, we don't charge any setup fees, and when we help you out as much as we possibly can on that setup as well. So we really tried to turn that around in the market, and that's just partially due to that stigma, and that's why a lot of people are turned off from software, is because of all those fees up front. And like they hear, oh, Floorzap's a software on the market, but they're probably really expensive. They have a lot of fees up front that I have to pay, and they don't even look into it. But that's a big hurdle for us to get over as well. It's just to say, hey, we don't charge these fees. We're not here, to take a lot of your money up front. We're here to just help you get set up in the system. We're going to do that for free for you. We just want you using a system that's better for you. That's it. We're going to do everything we can.
That's kind of what we talked about earlier with that blue collar, white collar chasm.
Yes.
That, yeah. And that's where I was before I got this job. I was, blue collar all the way, and I didn't want anything to do with computers or anything. And then I just kind of fell into this job, and I've been in over my head for the last 9 months for sure.
Okay. And then I guess
I've been drinking from a fire hose.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And you never wanted anything to do with computers, even though your dad was at IBM, huh?
Yeah. Yep. Nope. I was a hammer swinging, pipe carrying, truck driving fool. That's what I was.
Wow.
Yep.
So what made?
I mean, I was a medical assistant back in the 2000s, but I mean, I still that's the peon of the medical field.
So what brought you here? I'm curious. What brought you here to do this?
Jim Coleman, who's one of the CEOs here at Xfusion, I've known him for several years, and he came to me right at the end of February, and he's like, hey, he says, I know you, I know your work ethic, I know your character. He said, I can teach you the technical and software end of this, but I can't teach the character and work ethic part to somebody that knows the other stuff.
Yeah.
Said, so you've been out of work for 15 months. You want to give it a shot? Because when I was working in the oil field, and when COVID hit, they're like, "See ya."
Yeah.
So I'm like, "Yeah, got nothing to lose," and I mean, might as well try the computer side of it. So that's I'm very much a people person, and that's what he brought me on for, was more of the people side and less of the technical side. Mm-hmm. But it's still, there's still a lot more technical when you're working for a company like this than anything that I've ever done. But
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then they started this podcast, and it was just Jim and David, our CEOs, doing the podcast. And they're like, hey, we've got a lot of these. You think you might be able to do these? He said, I think you'd be good. And then like, maybe. So I could give it a shot. He's like, great. You have one Monday, 8:00. It's like Thursday evening. I'm like, oh, okay. I guess I'll do a podcast. So that's how I got into the podcast side. So yeah, it's been a wild ride for sure.
That's awesome. Yeah, well, we've enjoyed being on your show for sure. Definitely enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed this one, and like the people out there don't know, but we had a 35-minute conversation before this show even started. Yeah, we almost had a whole other show that we could have filmed before the show even started.
Yeah,
so it's been a lot of fun.
Either. Yeah, we actually about a whole lot of new topics,
really.
So, hey, we might have to have us back.
Yeah. Especially with Mike when he's been.
I would love to have Mike back and do a whole other one. I'd love to get some of his insights for sure. But I think you guys have a call that you're going to have to be on here pretty soon. So let me get down to my last couple of questions. Okay. And I don't know that, you guys, neither of you have ever been founders. And this question is usually for people that are founders. Mm-hmm. But you guys are starting a company with Mike, and you're fairly new into it. So I'll still ask you this. What advice would you give to founders or soon to be founders that are going to watch this? Because you guys are still C-suite employees, and you're still in a startup, and you're still starting this company. So what advice would you give to founders or soon to be founders that are going to be watching this program?
So there's going to be two things. One, I would say, as we talked about earlier, build something you believe in, build something great. The rest will follow. The other one is be with people you trust.
Yeah.
And I trust Mitch with my life, and the trust that we have with Mike is incredible for, not being there for very long. I had, a bit of relationship with him before, but we, being trust and being on the same page on what our goal is. And that's, building something great together. And what exactly we're building, I don't think would matter too much. We've been in the flooring industry, so that's just kind of where it is. But, I would build something with Mike in any industry. So it's just building something great and building it with people you trust. That'd be my advice.
Yeah, I agree with it. That's it. Couldn't say it better.
Nice. And then the last question for you guys is, what is the best way for our viewers to get in touch with you if they so choose?
Call us, email us. No, yeah, go to our website at Floorzap.com.
Not a trick question.
Yeah. No, yeah, go to Floorzap.com, and there's a form you can fill out there, and just shoot us over what you're looking for. If you're looking for a software or anything else, just send us a contact form, and we'll get back to you. Call us anytime.
If you're looking for the company contact, that's probably the best way. If you're looking for us,
LinkedIn works too.
LinkedIn.
Yeah. If you want us specifically, go. Get in contact with us any way you want.
We don't care. Yeah.
Right on. Gentlemen, it's been a lot of fun. Mike, one last shout out. We'll see if we can't get you on later as well. And sorry that you're not feeling well. And we'll do this again. You guys have a really, really good day. Thanks for being on.
All right. Thanks. Thank you so much. You've been an awesome host.
Mm-hmm.